This is News Always On. Michigan State University has agreed to pay $500 million to victims of the physician Larry Nassar, who sexually abused more than 300 young women. This is believed to be the largest settlement ever in a sexual misconduct case involving a university. According to NPR News, under the terms of agreement, the school will pay $425 million to those 332 current claimants, with $75 million set aside in a trust fund for 2 years in the event that others come forward and make claims about Nassar's abuse. Nassar is hardly the first mass sexual predator in this particular area. His crimes are all too similar to those of a former assistant coach for Penn State's football team, Jerry Sandusky, who in 2012 was convicted on 45 counts of child sexual abuse. In both cases, powerful men used a prestigious athletic program to gain access to their victims. As for Nassar, he worked for about 20 years at Michigan State University and for some 30 years with USA Gymnastics as a team doctor. The lawsuits claim that Nassar sexually abused his patients, many of them young female athletes, for more than 2 decades. Some of the victims include gold medalist Jordan Weber, Gabby Douglas, and Michaela Maroney. They claim Nassar abused them under the guise of medical treatment. Maroney wrote in a victim impact statement that the abuse began when she was around 13 or 14 and didn't stop until she left the sports years later. She wrote, quote, "How could Larry Nassar have been allowed to assault so many women and girls for more than 2 decades? The answer to that question lies in the failure of not one, but 3 major institutions to stop him, with Michigan State University, USA Gymnastics, and the United States Olympic Committee. Nassar will likely spend the rest of his life behind bars. He was sentenced to up to 175 years in state prison for criminal sexual conduct and 60 years in prison on federal child pornography charges. $500 million is a staggering amount of money. But at the end of the day, we ask ourselves, is it really enough at the expense of the hurting of 332 young women?